Hey y'all, this is Mrs. Pelly. Today should be Monday, April 6th. You should have turned in your rough drafts of your skull, ribs, arms, and legs this past Friday. So far, what I've been seeing has been really great. I'm really proud of what y'all have been drawing. And this week, we should be working on final drafts for your drawings. I realize that not everyone has really awesome art materials at home. Some of you do, some of you don't, and that's okay. I'm going to show you today how to finish your rough drafts with everyday materials. This is a really great opportunity for us to be really creative, and creativity is a big part of art that I think everyone benefits from because it helps us to overcome and adapt to different situations by finding creative solutions to them. So that's what we're doing today. Right here, I have a full skeleton drawing. We will be doing this as a class later. I just did this as a format to show y'all all the different ways that you can make a final draft of everyday materials. Okay, so don't freak out over the skeleton. You're still working on your skull, ribs, arms, and legs. Okay. So without any further ado, I'm going to start showing y'all the 10 materials that I found in my home that you can use as well. Okay. And just a quick note, you'll notice that my final draft is on brown paper. I don't even have final draft paper at home, y'all. I'm the art teacher and I don't have these things at home either. So keep that in mind, okay? So I found this brown cardstock. That I really like, and you can't see this because it's in pencil, but I did section off my skeleton in 10 different zones. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, I have a pen, just a normal ballpoint pen. I know that everyone has one of these, and if you don't, then you have a pencil that you can do shading, but I'm going to show you two different techniques with the pen. And one is called stippling. Stippling is when you make a series of dots that can either be more or less concentrated to get a variety of value. Okay, so I was actually on Instagram the other day and somebody must have been really bored because they had done this huge drawing of an octopus done with nothing but stippling. So you might be able to see my pen from over there. I'll get this close up for y'all in just a second. But I'm just making a bunch of dots. Okay. And the closer you put your dots together and the more of them, the darker it'll be. And the less dots you have and the further away, the lighter it'll be. So I'm going to close this up for y'all. So you can see I have done some stippling. Another thing you can do with a pen is something called cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is whenever you use a series of lines to create value. And remember, value is the degree of light and dark in the drawing. Okay. So I'm just making a series of lines to make shadows and highlights. Okay. So there you go. All right. So first one was a pen. All right. Another thing I found were highlighters. So I have different colored highlighters. If you have just white sheet of paper, this would work best. I don't know how well this is going to work out on my brown paper, but we're going to experiment. Let's see. So I'm just coloring this in as you would with a marker. And if you have markers at home, you may use those. And you can use your cross-hatching or stippling technique here as well. All right, so there's my attempt with a highlighter. All right, let's move on. This one's gonna be a little bit weird. I am a big coffee drinker. And lots of people make really awesome pieces of art with coffee. This can be accomplished if you're not a coffee drinker. You can use tea, you can use juice. If you're a soda drinker, try that and see how it works out. But I just have my coffee left over from this morning, and a clean paintbrush. If you are doing anything with food, please try to keep your self from cross-contaminating as much as possible. If you recall, Monet, who was a famous painter, actually cleaned out his paintbrushes in his coffee and then drank the coffee. Do not drink art materials, y'all. You're gonna go blind or something, okay? All right, so I got my coffee, and I'm going to use this as a medium for painting. This will work a lot like watercolor, where you're going to concentrate more coffee where you want it to be darker. Okay. And again, this is on brown paper, so it's not going to show up super well, but I can already see a good degree of shadows forming from just my coffee. All right, again, you can use all sorts of liquids for this. Cranberry juice would be a really great option. Grape juice, because you have lots of darker colors. And if you don't have a paintbrush, finger paint. All right, so here is my coffee painting. I actually really like that one. All right, another thing, I went through my pantry and tried to look for different materials to make art out of. One thing I found was food coloring. If you have a paintbrush, that's awesome. If you have some concentrated food coloring like this is more professional grade, you can water it down with either water or vanilla extract is a really good way to wire this down. I'm going to use my coffee again to wire this down, but I'm just using the lid of this, or you can get a plate to help you with this. So I'm just watering this down, and red might not have been the best option. It's a little gory, but this again is another way you can paint. Okay, and I can thin it down even more to make lighter hues. And this actually, y'all, turns out really, really cool. And I find that this works a lot like watercolors, and that the concentration of lights and darks varies on how much liquid you add to it, or medium. So there is my arm with food coloring. Now, right here, you'll see that I cut out a section to show you some really cool ways that you can make Final Draft this way. So give me 1 second. Okay. So what I did was I used an X-Acto knife, or if you have just like a really nice knife that you can use to cut out, or even scissors, I just cut out a little hole here. This way I can use 2 other materials, or as many materials as you want. So what I can do, you could go through and cut out the whole skeleton and take a sheet of magazine paper. So I found a magazine that had a really cool landscape, and I can layer that behind my cutout and suddenly apply a really cool color. I also had some old flowers in my house. If you and your family take a walk, or if you are blessed with a wonderful backyard with lots of nature materials, you can easily make nature art with these skeletons. All you have to do, and you can, if you want to go ahead and cut out all the holes and just take it outside, lay it on top of grass or rocks, or in this case, dried flowers, and take a picture of that, and that could count as your final draft. Really cool and creative way to make a final draft. And again, you can take this and put it on top of any material, and you suddenly have a awesome piece of artwork. All right, so that was 2. I believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More than halfway there. And girls, these next couple of tricks will probably apply to you more than the guys, because I found nail polish. Okay. What's really great about this is that it comes with its own brush. Okay. So I'm just going to take my nail polish. And this is a little bit goopy, but if you want to just apply it to your drawing, you suddenly have a really cool painting. And again, you can experiment with this as much as you want. You can layer your nail polish together. You even have, if you have a clear coat, you can do a drawing, add some color, and then put a clear coat on top of it. This particular polish is a glitter polish. So if you have glitter at home, this is your time to unleash the glitter monster inside of you. So go for it. All right. Then I found makeup. Again, really awesome thing about makeup is that a lot of times if you have a compact like this, which in this case I don't, sometimes they come with their own brushes. But if you have eyeshadow like this is awesome because it already has a value scale for you. Okay, so I have really light colors here, and then they proceed down to darker tones. So if you struggle with values, this could be an awesome cheat for you. Okay, so this is one option, and some of them have shimmer. Shimmer's fun. I have eyeliner, so I can take some eyeliner, draw it on. And again, this is one of those things that comes with its own blender. And I can go back and blend the eyeliner. Okay, so this one actually looks like a charcoal drawing, which is really cool. So guys, if you are a little embarrassed to ask for your mom's or sister's makeup, you can just do something like this and tell everyone it was charcoal. No one will know the difference. Okay. And I also have lipstick. Again, it has its own brush or applicator to it. And I can apply some color to this. So I'm just going to sort of smudge it a little bit. All right. And there, doesn't that look so cool? I suddenly have some shadows and highlights, and you can even layer it with colors. So lots of ways to experiment with your makeup. Okay. So, nature. Sorry, I have a list off to the side that I'm looking at while I'm doing this. Another thing I found a chalk marker. I saw some of you posting chalk art, just like sidewalk chalk at home on Instagram. So if you have something like this, if you have just normal sidewalk chalk or a pen, this can be a really great way to add highlights. And again, I'm using that hatching technique. To make highlights. So I have chalk. All right. And then the last thing I have for you, this one's a little bit lame, but I had an expo marker at home. So that's just a quick lesson in pretty much any office material will work for this. Just some other things off the top of my mind. If you have like something greasy, like I know some of y'all work in the mechanics with your dad, you can very carefully use the grease from that. For that cutout option, you can use layers of book pages behind it. You can put magazines, all sorts of things, y'all. The possibilities are endless. So, and one nice thing about the expo marker is that it kind of is dried out. So I can get just a little bit of blending from that. All right. So there's my expo option. So just a review, you can use a pen or pencil to stipple or crosshatch if you're not comfortable with shading or blending. You can use that same technique with a highlighter. You can cut out a section from your final draft and layer different images below it, whether it's nature or magazines. You can decoupage if you really like scrapbooking. You can glue different materials onto it. You can use coffee, food coloring, nail polish, makeup, chalk, or expo markers or any markers you have at your disposal. So these are just 10 examples that I found in my home. You can look around your own home and find all sorts of materials to use for your final drafts. Okay, I'm really excited to see what y'all come up with because a lot of you will find things different from me. And I ultimately wanted to show y'all this for those of you who do not have art materials at home. There's no excuse for you to not make a really beautiful piece of artwork at home with whatever you have. And for those of you that do have really awesome art materials at home, I'm really excited to see you experiment with different materials. All right, as always, send me comments or emails if you have any questions. I'm here to help. And let me know if y'all need anything else. All right, bye y'all.